Hey everybody, it's Home Inspector Dan. I'm up here in Peoria today doing a house built 5 years ago. There's not much going on here, but something kind of unusual about this inspection. It was already inspected a few days ago, and the buyer kind of wants a second opinion on the property. So he hired me to go back through it and do a sewer camera inspection just so we can get a perfect look at everything, so we can get a couple points of view. He's the brother to somebody that I worked for last year, so I really appreciate, those in-family referrals, friends, family referrals. It's a big deal to us as inspectors because it's hard to get our name out there to everybody that's buying a house. It's a short window to meet somebody, and just because your realtor recommends a home inspector doesn't mean he's going to be a bad inspector. It's just you have to question it. There's a little bit of worry there if you don't know your agent very well, and then you bring in an inspector that you don't know at all. Not a good idea. So I do recommend trying to find an inspector before you start looking for a house. That way you have somebody you can ask questions to that actually knows some answers. So anyway, let's get started on the outside of the house. I'm just going to show you a few of the things that I found today. We're on the east side of the property right now, facing the morning sun. Beautiful front yard here. So on the north side we have our main water shutoff, and then that goes through a pressure regulator. We're just above 70 psi today. Goes into the irrigation manifold, which you have two zones down there controlled by a timer on the other side of this wall. Now 5 years old, we're gonna have a little bit of stucco cracks. It's gonna happen, and at this point in time we're probably looking at sealing those cracks up and painting them. That would make a big difference. Some of those cracks are getting a little bit big. Got a tree overhang here. I believe it's a mesquite tree. It's growing pretty straight up for a mesquite tree, but it's overhanging the roof, and there's a bunch of debris up there on the roof collecting in a valley, and we need to get that cleaned out. That'll just retain water against your roof and cause some water leakage into this front bedroom. Main sewer cleanouts right here. ABS pipes going under the house out to the street. Didn't have any obstructions today. It's a clean line. Just a little bit of hydrojet maintenance down there. It's all that I would recommend. And on the front side of these houses in Arizona, they usually don't put any gutters. I love to see gutters there. Imagine coming home and it's raining. You got two streams of water just pouring right on your head. And then all that water goes right into this area. And this is morning sun, but in the afternoon you're not going to have any sun over here. So it's not going to dry out in the afternoon very well. So gutters are a great thing to put on here to save your foundation, save your walkway from settlement, save your head from rainfall as you walk in. Garage door opener and garage door itself is working good, but there are some gaps around the trim. That should be sealed up, help keep the bugs out. There's a little bit more of a gap down there at the bottom. Just starting to curl a little bit. Garage itself was clean. Looks like the epoxy was done not that long ago. They still have some of the tape up from when they epoxied it. Some of the window screens are up there. Typical cracking on the ceiling. Nice big straight crack, sheetrock crack. Just paint it, seal it. Not concerned. I opened up all the cabinets, made sure we didn't have any termites today. And the epoxy flooring is going to cover any cracks or staining that were here previously. I did want to point out that this receptacle in here was likely a GFI receptacle, and they did replace it with a USB, so now you don't have any GFI protection at that outlet. And it's right next to your water heater, so if anything were to leak, sprays over here, yada yada, you know the thing. Gas line here, 3/4 inch gas line, looks good. Temperature release going outside. We have a direct vent for your exhaust and your intake, so both of them go through that, so no need for combustion air vents in this garage. Like I said, this house is pretty clean. Typical cracking here, just paint it up. Got your oofer ground behind that. Your main water shut off, I guess your main water meter is right here on the property line. It's kind of weird. It's like on the other side of the property line. But that is yours. And there's some more stucco cracking up here. You see that's starting to come out, being more apparent over the years. And there's some cracking around the electrical panel too. This doesn't concern me much, but it should be sealed. The electrical panel, we have a lot of arc fault breakers, a lot of GFI breakers, GFIs, arc faults. So if you need to reset anything, all your resets are right in here. Something trips in the bathroom, you're gonna have to come out here and reset that. But it was clean in here. We do have a 30 amp breaker going back to the pool equipment. We have pre-treatment here in 2020 by Younger Brothers. And you have some electrical connections there, and up there we test all of these to make sure your Christmas lights work here in about 2 months. And there is some cracking behind this main pipe going up for the service entrance too. You might want to get that sealed up so no bugs get in there. That might be part of the reason that drywall is cracked in there. I don't know. There might be a little bit of movement there. Gas system looks good today. Didn't see any issues with it. This is your main gas shutoff. This is your regulator. Didn't smell any gas today, which is good. You can see the water efflorescence starting to build up on this. This is from roof runoff. So the rainfall hits right here and runs down and then leaves all the mineral deposits in the concrete. Now because there's a pool in the backyard, this door has to close on its own, which it does. As we walk through here, there's a lot more stucco cracks starting to form on the bottom. Somebody came through before me and started taping stuff up. Some of the tapes are on cracks, some aren't. I don't know who did the taping. There's quite a bit of tape here though. See, this is where it exhausts out the middle, sucks in fresh air out the outside for the water heater. No vents in the soffit, but we do have vents on the roof surface today. A little bit more cracking. Sunscreens installed on south windows. That's a good thing. I haven't touched the pool equipment yet. I'll show you why in a minute. The water is shut off for the autofill for the pool. And I haven't touched anything back here. Because when I got here, the person that wants me to inspect this was kind of curious. And he goes, I started this bucket at 3 p.m. yesterday to help determine if the pool is leaking. The pool equipment is turned off the breaker and off-on switch above the breaker. If you don't mind, compare the water loss inside the bucket to the water loss by checking the yellow tape marks. I'm trying to determine if the pool's water level is dropping more than the water level inside the bucket. It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. It's down maybe a 1/4 inch. And on this side, it's still pretty level. So yeah, it's down a 1/4 inch. The previous person that looked at the pool said it might be leaking. And I guess that's one way to determine it. Nothing's going to leak out of the bucket, but it might leak out of the pool, so you check the water levels. I'm just going to let this sit until the buyer shows up, because he did that, and I want him to test and check and make sure that tape and the water level is where it should be. Backside of the house, we have more sun's covers, solar screens, and our patio back here, which does block all the stem wall. So when I call this out, it doesn't mean I want you to pull up this whole entire patio and replace the patio. It's saying, hey, you're not going to be able to see if termites get behind there because the patio is so high. So just make sure you stay current on your termite treatment, where they might drill and fill around this area just to prevent any termites from going up. But if they get back there and they get behind your stucco, you'll never see them back here because there's nowhere to see them. And they have to bring it up because they have to get good grading drainage off these areas. And the stucco, we've screed around this column. There's some pretty good gapping. They ran the stucco right over the top of the weep screed, which you don't want to do that because it'll just break off like that. And then they filled up the holes. So they filled up some of these weep screed holes that are supposed to stay open. It's really hard to show. There we go. So that is full of stucco, so if any water is trying to get out of it, it's not going to get out of that area. It's not the only one that they filled up either. They filled up pretty much all of them, and then they'll leave those gaps there. You just don't want bugs getting up in there. That's the main thing. There is this new pesticide treatment that isn't a chemical, it's just a paint that you paint on your stem wall, and it makes it so slippery that the scorpions and bugs can't get up it. 5-year-old Lennox 5-ton system is working great today. Again, a little bit more stucco cracking, not worried about it, really not. A little bit more right there. And the patio ceiling back here was cracked out just a little bit up in the corner. Different surfaces, drying at different speeds, gonna get that cracking. And you should never wash this with water because that's drywall. So you wash water up there, you're gonna water damage everything. And you got water spots too. Irrigation timer right here. Checking our valves. We have 2 valves hooked up. We only found 2 in the box, so that's making sense to me anyway. And we ran these for a full cycle. We just pushed this over to manual and push it up to run. See, it's giving us 1 hour on zone 1. I'm not sure what this PVC line goes to other than a hose in the front yard and nothing connected to it. And then it's connected back here and goes underground. So I'm not sure what that is for. Now on the sidewall here, we've got more of this cracking, but there's some holes that people have missed right up in there. That's a good point for bugs to get in. There's another one back here. Yeah, right up there on that corner. So that's wide open. So we want to make sure those are filled in. And we want to open this drain up so if any water does come down off the roof and build up over here, it can get out away from the foundation. Some minor gapping around the windows. Not too bad. There was a weep screed that was broken on one part of the house. It's just that little section in there, that little flap gets broken out. They shouldn't be full of stucco, and they should look like that. More gaps. Then you have your condensate drip right there and your overflow or your condensate pan on that section. Oh, poor bird. Some bird got head-on collisioned. Oh, I didn't unlock it. That is a self-closing door, which I like to see, especially around a pool. You don't want kids to be able to get access to the pool if you don't want them to. You want to lock up high, you want a self-closing door, you want a self-closing gate. Something that just keeps all the neighborhood kids out of your pool too, because talk about liability. You know, if, say your kid snuck out of your house, decided to go to somebody else's backyard and go swimming back there and drown, right? And then you found out about it, and you found out that there wasn't a self-closing gate or there wasn't some safety devices put on that pool that would have prevented that. You're probably going to get sued, or you're going to sue the person that has the pool because your son died, you're pissed off, you're emotional. You're going to try and get some type of monetary value out of it. I know it sounds cruel, but this is the world we live in. Inside of the house looks really good today, really clean. 3 thermostats, one cooling unit outside, 1 furnace. Got bedrooms here up in the front and a bathroom. No major issues here, but this toilet valve was off when I got here. Yes, I popped it open, I tested the toilet, and I turned it back off, and it's working fine. But for some reason, they had this turned off. Shower head, shower walls, working good. Again, no GFCI switches in here because they're out in the electrical panel. And the sinks were working good today. There was one drain stop that wasn't functional. Don't remember what bathroom it was. I think it was in the primary. And every room has a smoke detector in the corner, blinds, shades, whatever you want to call them, shutters, fans in the bedrooms, remote switches for the fans, 4 gang plate. So you got 2 for the fan, 1 for the switch over there, and then 1 for the can lights. Pretty high tech. Nice big closet too with its own light in there. Make it dark on you. Little closet in the hallway, just a little linen closet. Almost the same thing here. 4 gang plate, fan, 4 switches, switched outlet, lighted closet, walk-in closet off here to the side. As you can see, as I get here, I start opening windows, turning lights on, walking around, and then as I get done with rooms, I close the windows, close the doors, or close the lights off so I know that that room is done. And I don't have to come back to it, or if I walk by it, I don't think that I still have to do it. Thermostat here at the front of the house. We're cooling now. When I got here, we cranked the furnace up and it was putting out good heat in all zones. As we walk into the main house here, before we get over there, we have the air handler right here, the air filter, 2 of them going up into the attic, into the furnace. Laundry room. I ran both of these for a cycle today. They ran without issue, but this one keeps beeping at me self-clean. It wasn't filling up full of water properly. So the rubber hoses that are on the connectors back here, these things can break. I like to see stainless steel braided just because if this breaks, this valve is wide open. It's just going to spray water constantly. So you want to prevent any breakage here as much as possible. So a stainless braided line would be great in that area. Then you have your main brain over here for the Wi-Fi, all the electronics inside there, and your fresh air ventilation auto fan. That just helps bring in some fresh air from outside because our houses that we build nowadays are so tight. We need to bring in some fresh air from outside. Little office area, den area with the wallpaper. Window is good. You're gonna get a little bit of cracking around the window. And that's really common, really normal. If it's excessive, I'll call it out for a big deal. But that's still a call out, just those minor cracks. But it's not like something that's a big deal to me. Just regular maintenance. These doors just slide into that mechanism. Just a force closed door. Then you have a hallway bathroom here. Little flower thing there, making it smell all fancy and whatnot. This is the drain stop that wasn't working. It's not connected. And there was a minor leak underneath this as well. Guess can't see it, I wiped it up, but it's leaking right at the drain stop connection. You can see that that rod is not connected to the downpipe anymore, or the down rod, I guess, and it's leaking right out of that fitting. So some minor repairs at that spot. Get the toilet, nice little shimmy. Nothing moving there, which is good. And this ceiling fan is not operational. It's not working with this remote. I like how they did that. Just Ziploc bags. I can't get it to turn on at all. All the switches are on. This one was even taped on when I got here, so I'm guessing that's for the fan. Batteries are working, but the fan is not. So they might want to get that fixed. Windows in here were okay. Your electrical is good. No surround sound. Not that it's a big deal, but some people it is. You have some wood paneling here on the side of this wall. I'm glad that it's on an interior wall and not an exterior wall, because what this does is it obstructs our view. termites can get back there if it was on an exterior wall, and they'd drill all this out and you'd probably never see them. Master bedroom. It's not the biggest master bedroom in the world, but man, beautiful view. Beautiful view. And then they took some of that space back and reclaimed it in the bathroom. So this is a beautiful bathroom as well. Both sinks are working good. Again, no overflow protection on these big square sinks that don't like to drain properly. Dual head shower here in the primary, one out of the top, one out of the side. You can adjust that right here, either all the way on or both. And I'm checking for any grout cracking, grout marks, tile cracks, anything major going on in there. Didn't see anything. Primary lavatory, no issues here. Toilets were flushing good today. And your primary closet, big old closet here as well. And looks like I've got that same cabinet at home, and they just bracketed it up. So it's held up there, but that's all you got. I hope they at least hit a stud. Yeah, they got 2 brackets on that one at least. And they did replace this. They replaced several outlets, receptacles with USB outlets. Because all the resets are in the main panel, it's fine. Not a big deal. There is no light kit back here. Forgot to point that out. So on the remote control, there's a light button. But you try to turn the light on, good luck. There's nothing up there to turn on. Smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors in both hallways. These are combo units. This hallway and back in that hallway. 5 years old, you still have 5 years on them. External ventilated kitchen range hood. Everything goes up and out, which is awesome, especially with gas cooktop like this. The gas cooktop was working just fine. Turns right on. There is electrical back here as well. And this is where the electrical for the oven comes in at. It goes down here, and this is an oven microwave combo. So the top is a microwave and the bottom is the oven. Both working, both were fine, all touch button. I don't know if I would be a big fan of this. This is how you turn the microwave. So you want microwave, cooking method, cook, time, 20, next. That's all you have to do to start the microwave. Oven is basically the same way. Do have a nice pantry here with a motion activated light for storing all your food products, and the refrigerator was in good condition as well. Test everything on the appliances that we can, but we do not test the water or the ice maker, do not test the water filter. I'm just looking for damage, basically. I'm looking for damaged drawers, any cuts, seal damage, might not be sealing quite properly. What's going on there? I have no idea. Countertop and cabinets, good condition. They even have the pull-out drawers. Self-closing on the cabinet. It's a pretty good house. I'm not complaining about much here. I'm going to meet the buyer here in a little bit. And actually, we're going to go over the report that he got before and my report. So he'll get a look at 2 different inspectors' points of view, and hopefully we'll get a look at that inspection report too. It's from a company that's pretty reputable, and I told him that. He was a little bit concerned, and I said, you know, this company, they do good work. I've heard of them doing good things, but you know, I totally understand if you don't feel confident and you just want somebody's second opinion on it. Sure, let's do it. So we're gonna compare the reports, and it's kind of cool because they're doing it on the same inspection software too, Spectora. So we'll go over that in a little bit, but thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully I'll follow this up with a inspection report. Yeah, that smoke detector's beeping. See you next time.